Like me, I'm sure you've had some great times with your Xbox 360, and then more great times with the one you brought to replace it when it broke, and then the one to replace that one. Just kidding, everybody knows they usually broke fast enough that they were still covered by the warranty. That being said, the Xbox 360 was one of the best consoles of all time, and remains home to some of our generation's fondest gaming memories, as well as our most migraine-inducing dilemmas. Here are 10 problems only people who owned an Xbox 360 will understand. The red ring of death. If you were lucky, you enjoyed many happy gaming hours with your Xbox 360 before its glowing green circle turned into a terrifying red ring. But this was likely to happen at some point, especially with earlier models. Commence frantic googling and sitting on hold with the support line, eventually arriving at one strange piece of advice, which leads us on to number 9. Wrapping your Xbox in a towel. 3 flashing red lights, cover that sucker in towels and then turn it on for a while so it can get nice and toasty. The weird thing about this technique is that it actually worked. Sometimes. If the solder that's supposed to connect your Xbox 360's internal components is faulty, heating things up could melt it down and get it working again. Of course, it could also melt a bunch of other stuff that wasn't broken and make things even worse. Wishing they'd bring back the blades. The Xbox 360's blade interface was made to match the concave original hardware, and it's also so mid-2000s in both name and appearance that it hurts. But it was only the first of 3 major user interfaces for the Xbox 360. Each successive update was supposed to make your system easier to use, but they were also a bit of a Trojan horse to shove more slow-loading ads in front of your eyeballs and generally mess up your muscle memory. And it wasn't long before we started pining for the old fast-moving, well-organised, Wesley Snipes-invoking days of Blade. Finally becoming the 1 in 1 vs 100. If you never played 1 vs 100 during its 2 short seasons on Xbox Live, you missed out on the most surefire way to look like an idiot in front of thousands of internet strangers. With a regular schedule of live hosted episodes and real prizes like Microsoft points and free games, there's still nothing like it. Nope, there's nothing like waiting in the crowd for months, then finally making your way to the 100 player mob and getting eliminated on your first question as the 1. Convincing your friends that achievements are actually cool. Remember the dark ages before video games awarded you with a little ding and made up points for slapping somebody with a fish? Xbox 360 introduced the world to the idea of a persistent account-wide system for celebrating in-game accomplishments. It sounded unnecessary and mercilessly Pavlovian at the time, but now everybody does it, so I guess we know who rings the bell around here. Waiting for Rare's grand comeback. First things first, yes, Viva Pinata was terribly underrated, and Banjo-Kazooie's Nuts and Bolts was clever, even if it wasn't what most people wanted. But it's still easy to see why Rare fans remember the Xbox 360 as a dark time for the celebrated studio. Starting off with the lackluster cameo Elements of Power and Perfect Dark Zero, and whimpering to a conclusion with the forgettable KINECT Sports and KINECT Sports Season 2. Oh, and look, we're still waiting. Being watched by your Kinect. Sure, you used your Kinect sensor maybe 3 times after you bought it, and then it was relegated to occasional entertainment for visiting family members. But it's tough to finally take the plunge and unplug it. Yes, the little bow it does when it's calibrating is super cute, obviously, and wait, what if it heard your plans and is watching you reach for the cord right now? Trying to use that awful D-pad for platforming. The Xbox 360 controller deserves endless praise for helping to finally standardise controller inputs across the gaming industry with its sleek, ergonomic design. But sweet, merciful Meat Boy, does that D-pad suck if you need any kind of precision. It's good for switching weapons in Gears of War and operating your phone in GTA 4, but that's about it. Running out of room on your hard drive. Xbox 360's storage capacity is really easy to upgrade. Physically speaking, thanks to its specially made external attachment system. Financially speaking, an upgrade is doable if you have good credit and don't mind taking out a second mortgage, all to pay for an ungodly expensive hard drive that's relatively tiny and can't be used anywhere else. And God help you if you brought one of those 4 gig consoles and want to play a modern game with modern sized updates. Putting away one of the best consoles ever. All of its quirks aside, Xbox 360 remains one of the most successful, influential, and long-lived consoles of all time. However, as the backwards compatible library for Xbox One continues to grow, there's less and less reason to keep your old 360 plugged in. But of course that doesn't make it any easier to pack up such a cherished old friend. Maybe a few more months in the HDMI 2 input won't hurt. So those are 10 problems anyone who owned an Xbox 360 will understand. Let us know how many you suffered through in the comments below, click the boxes on the left for more content from us, and don't forget to hit that big button in the middle to subscribe for more gaming news, reviews, previews and features right here on GamesRadar Plus.